Anyway, hey guys, it's Lost Worm. You might be watching the Worm's Turn. I'm playing Tyranny right now, as I need some more Tyranny videos to keep up with my YouTube schedule. Let's see. I have found out that I'm not actually done Dandara, which was a bit of a surprise to me, because apparently there's a couple of hidden bosses in there that I do want to try out. So I will be, next time I'm working and I want to do a stream after work, I'll probably go back to Dandara and do that. There's my Twitch dashboard, mobile live dashboard. Yes, please. Wait, what's going on here? It says my session's 0 minutes. I am live, right? I am. Okay. So today you have the pleasure of listening to me try to do voices. Doing a horrible job trying to do voices. Let's see. I've been here. How do I do fast mode? Right. Button. 32 lore. Oh, I have Landry now. Lantry can read the scroll. A scroll sits here, glowing mystical energy. Magic sigils. Learned a new spell course. Sigil of Illusion. You've discovered a new sigil. Magic in the world of Tyranny comes from learning how to perfectly scribe sigils and empower them with energy. Open the spell interface by pressing P to create a new spell with the sigil you just learned. Neat. Okay, spell creation. Spells are created using 2 or more sigils. The core sigil determines the type of magic, such as fire, frost, or illusion. The expression sigil determines how that core shapes itself into the world, such as a ball of fire or frost enchanting a weapon. There are several categories of sigils that can accent a spell, granting it greater range accuracy or providing bonus secondary effects. To begin creating a spell, select the core sigil for the type of... Can I move this window? No. For the type of magic, followed by the expression sigil to determine what form the spell takes. For example, if you wanted to create a fireball spell, you would select the sigil of flame as the core, followed by the sigil of directed force to determine its shape. Spells have default names based on the selected core and expression. You can rename your spells using the spell interface. I know my head is covering the view of the tutorial. Each sigil requires a certain amount of lore skill to learn and control. Characters must have lore skill at least equal to the spell's total difficulty in order to cast a spell. Assign spells. Press any key to exit assign mode. Once you have created a spell, use the assign button to add that spell to one of your active party members. You can assign a spell to more than one character. If you want to modify the spell later after you've discovered more sigils, select the spell from the party member you wish to modify. The interface will populate with that spell's information, allowing you to modify it and save the changes. You can customize your spells by selecting different icons. If you create multiple spells using the same core and expression, but with different accents, these icons can help you differentiate your spells. Each spell has a default name, but you can customize your spell's name to reflect the accents you've added to the spell. They said that already. Some accent sigils allow you to modify the area of effect or range of your spells. When you use these sigils, the casting UI will display the increased range as a second, more transparent area beyond the base area of the spell. Okay, this seems pretty interesting. Cores. I have the Sigil of Illusion core. Those who master the Sigil of Illusion are skilled in the arts of deceit and trickery, using its power to misdirect and confuse their targets at critical moments. Often derided by combat mages for its inability to kill outright, those who specialize in illusion know its powers can turn the tide of any battle. It merely requires someone smart enough to know how to use it. Alright, here's the question. If you need a high enough lore skill to cast a spell, how do you increase your lore skill? Alright. Expression sigil. Sigil of focus intent. Expressions used to create spells that affect single targets near the caster. Spectral blur. Lore required 15. Wait, what? Lore plus 0. Oh, okay. Hey, come back. So anyone can cast this. What determines spell slots? Okay, allied target plus 30% graze deflection for 45 seconds, plus 30% hit deflection for 45 seconds. Recovery 2 seconds total, range 2 meters. Masks the target and blurred vision, making them harder to hit. Okay. No accents yet? Everybody can cast it. There you go. Cool. I guess I'm on a time limit now. That makes me a little sad that I'm on a time limit because there's scrolls I want to go back to. I have 7 days to Kairos' Day of Swords. Let's see. 3 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 5 hours. I think I can afford, well, 9 hours. Let's see my journal. I took some notes. Get rid of this. So there was one place with lore at Edring Ruins. I'll be right back. I'm going... Oh, I have points to spend. Attribute points. 1. Verse. Ability cooldown, spell cooldown. Let's give her finesse. Doesn't really improve dual wield. It does improve bows though. What else does it improve? Parry. Yeah, she has bow attacks, if I remember correctly. Lantry. Minus 9% afflict duration, plus 6 endurance, will, and magic defense. Oh. Wits. Do any of these affect the number of spells you get? Doesn't look like it. With wits. Increases magic staff and lore. Does anything else increase lore more? Oh, that also increases lore. Oh, I could probably just look at lore and tell me. Oh, nope. Wait, what's that do? Blocking skill growth will prevent this character from gaining experience to this skill through normal. Oh, weird. Okay. Who has points? Verse and Lantry has 2. Okay. Time to level up. So... Did I actually ever really look at Verse's abilities? Fury's Rush requires 1 talent point spent in Duelistry. Verse moves quickly but the battlefield too quickly for enemies to engage her. Well, it's good to not be able to not get engaged. That's actually really powerful. Mocking Iron. Verse taunts her foes, engaging them and forcing them to attack her for a brief time. I don't think so. Know your enemy. When an enemy strikes Verse, she gains a passive bonus to dodge and parry skill until combat ends. This effect stacks. Killing Spree. After a kill, Verse will strike twice with her attacks for a short time. Gravedigger. Sweep at the target's feet, knocking them prone, then following downward strikes from each weapon. Lethal Opening. Verse will counterattack enemies that miss her in melee combat. Increase weapon damage while dual wielding with Blade Dancer. Pig on a Spit. Verse swaps position with an enemy, then stabs them with each of her weapons. Fury's Embrace. Unleash a rapid flurry of strikes against a single flow. Each hit applies damage over time effect. Killing Spree 2. After a kill, Verse will strike 3 times with her attacks for a time. Know your enemy. Know your enemy will now also grant accuracy to Verse when she grazes an enemy. Blood Calls to Blood. Melee critical hits damage enemies near their target. Melee critical hits damage enemies near their target. Okay. Scarlet Vengeance. When Verse is defeated, she immediately attacks all nearby enemies. Combat Mastery. Verse gains a bonus graze precision and graze deflection. Blade Dancer 2. Greatly increased weapon damage while dual wielding. Sprinting Death. While using Fury's Rush. Has a cooldown of 30 seconds. Oh, it only lasts 5 seconds. First will now passively attack nearby enemies as she moves. Well, that's cool. Sweeping Death. Verse executes a deadly spinning flourish, striking nearby enemies with each graceful movement and causing bleeding with her attacks. Well, it might be a good idea to have a ranged character. Okay, so this is Hobbled Prey. Requires 1 talent point. First pins target's feet with an arrow, hobbling them so they move more slowly. Hobbled is movement speed reduced by 3. Eternal Flame. Launch an arrow drenched in oil and covered flames. Sets foes on fire for much longer than Burning Iron. Burning for 17.5 seconds. Okay. Piercing Arrows. Attacks made with bows gain armor penetration. Nimble. While only wearing light armor, gain a bonus to dodge. Plus 10 dodge. Improvised attacks. Increases accuracy and removes the recovery penalty incurred after changing weapon sets. Oh. Battle Mind. When Verse is in the party, all members gain bonus experience for dual-wield bows and athletic skills. Born of Blood and Fire, gain immunity to the burning and bleeding afflictions. Invasive. When Spirit Parry, use dodge skill to avoid incoming melee attacks. Also gain bonus defense against engagement attacks. Mobile Recovery. Increases movement speed and removes recovery time penalty incurred by movement. Sense Weakness. Gain bonus damage against targets suffering from damage over time effects. Skull Splitter. Versus First fires a deadly arrow aimed directly at her target's head, stunning them. Nimble 2. Significantly increase dodge bonus while wearing light armor. Oh. So, I'm gonna look up. Dodge is for... how do we get dodge again? Quickness or wits? This is quickness. Is this wits? That's wits. Does that increase her bows? No, bows goes up from finesse and might. That poses a problem, doesn't it? For min-maxing. Unbound. First attacks all nearby foes and vanishes, appearing next to her target and leaving behind a spiritual remnant of one of her Scarlet Fury sisters. Piercing Arrows. Attacks made with bows now penetrate even more armor. Lightning Reflexes. Sometimes catch hostile ranged attacks that would have resulted in a graze, redirect them back to the attacker. Canvas Splitter. Fire a spread of ignited arrows, causing burning to all foes caught in the area. Well, let's go with Killing Spree. And Lantry's next. Quill. Lantry throws a well-aimed quill at his target, interrupting them. Oh, it says interrupt? Weak. Weak interrupt. Accuracy, plus 20. It's pretty accurate. Quill Flurry. Lantry rapidly attacks target with a series of thrown strikes. Is it 1 times primary? What? How many? How many? Doesn't say. It's penetrating throw. Improve Lantry's thrown weapon attack range and adds armor penetration to his thrown weapon attacks. Subtle Throw. While stealth, Lantry receives a significant bonus to range damage. Further improves thrown weapon attack range and adds moderate armor penetration. Same thing. All the penetrating throws do the same thing to different degrees. Swift Quill. Reduces cooldown recovery time when using Quill Strike, Quill Flurry, and Quill Storm. Accelerate. While using throw weapons, critical hits accelerate the rate of Lantry's attacks for a short time. Subtle throw, I already read. Bouncing blades. Lantry's grazes with thrown weapons that can bounce to strike enemies behind their target. Charged throw. Lantry's critical hits with thrown weapons trigger an explosion of arcane energy around the target. Deadeye. Gain a bonus to accuracy with thrown weapons. Gain a large bonus to accuracy with Deadeye 2. Quillstorm. Launch a hail of quills at multiple enemies in an area. Each quill applies a bleeding affliction when it strikes. I don't think I care much about that tree. Sage. Watcher's Judgment. Lantry strikes his target, interrupting them and lowering their non-physical armor. If used from stealth, this attack will also paralyze the target. He's like a mage assassin. Wary Gaze. Gain a passive bonus to subterfuge and dodge skills. Arcane Judgment empowers Watcher's Judgment to strike foes near the target with an arcane attack. Enemies have their endurance, will, and magic defense reduced. Lore Master improves lore skill. I wonder if these stack or if they override each other. I'm guessing they override each other. Level 1, 2, 3 of Lore Master. Voice of Ages. Grants Lantry. Reconnecting to chat. What's going on here? Grants Lantry hit precision. And the ability to decipher ancient languages is a useful skill for discovering new magics during travel. Guess what I'm taking. I'm taking Voice of Ages. Well, I'm going towards it anyway. Stance, Mage Slayer. While in stance, Lantry's attacks drain magical energy from their targets, silencing them and lowering their magic skills. Stance, Frozen. While in the stance, Lantry's attacks are imbued with the power of frost and will slow enemies. Learned Instructor. All party members gain bonus experience for lore and a bonus spell slot. Miastic Strikes. Lantry's critical hits with weapons weaken enemies. Grants additional spell slots. Ancient Knowledge. How many? 2. Recounting of Deeds. Lantry orates the party's deeds, inspiring his allies and instilling terror in the hearts of enemies. Preservation. Okay. Gift of Vigor improves control vigor skill. Are these all just going to improve? Greater Renewal empowers Lantry's renewal skill, granting an even greater increase to weapon damage and armor. +1 and wait. And 2? Oh, it's 0.5. Oh, okay. Arcane Shield grants a bonus to arcane armor and magic defense. Goes all the way up to 3. Second Breath. Lantry revives a fallen comrade. That might be useful. Moment of Peace significantly increases the health restored by Second Breath and protect revived characters from damage for a short time after they are revived. Erase the Record. Places a preservation seal on an ally. If the ally's health falls below a limit, they are healed for a large amount of health and the seal is destroyed. Passage of Hours. Lantry surrounds the target in a bubble of slow time, slowing their actions and movement speed. To healer. Okay. So I am going to go down Sage just a little bit so I can get Voice of Ages. That's all his points. Okay. Did I not spend your point? I know there's a certain point at which it costs 2 attribute points to upgrade an attribute. I'm not sure when that is. Okay. Oh, what's... I still have stuff to spend on Lantry? No, I don't. Why is it yellow?
I got it.
Alright. Oh yeah, last time I was playing I said that my Fatebinder's voice sounded very similar to Adair's. I went and looked it up. It's pretty much been confirmed that same person voiced Adair and... But I'll finish explaining the course camp first. And my voice for the Fatebinder, and that is... What's his name? Matt Mercer. I should know his name. Okay. I talk to these guys.
Well, look who we have here. Chewing on some manner of cud, a heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The Fate Finder finally shows himself.
I'm Reg, the second soldier chimes in, and this is Baz. We were wondering when you might pay the camp a visit. The Fifth Eye has been a little starved for attention. He orders to watch you like a troublesome babe. Make sure you don't get out of line. Baz knits her fingers together, joints crackling as she smiles. Reg clears his throat loudly, scowling at Baz. Something like that. If you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone else in camp who will give you answers. Or even a smile. So, anything we can do for you? Tell me about yourself, Baz. I was a sellsword at the beck and call of fat merchants. Just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood in local skirmishes, I realized that I was only killing time. Then Kairos showed me a better way. Unity, purpose. Now I fight for something, not just someone. Been watching the Scarlet Furies, practicing my blade work. Not good enough to join them yet, but I bet I could show you a thing or two. Tell me about yourself, Reg. He scratches the back of his head, at a loss for words. I had a family, a farm. Then the chorus came and, well, now I have the chorus. Priorities change when you hear screams in the night and feel a blade pressed to your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares thinking about the culling. Felt awful remembering how I hacked my ma and dad to bits just so I could survive. Okay, the culling. When the Scarlet Chorus conscripts a village, they hold a ceremony known as the culling. Every able-bodied man, woman, and child is given a weapon and forced to fight their family and friends to the death. Those who survive are deemed strong enough and free from old ties to join the army of the Voices of Nerat. Reg's eyes, shadowed for a moment with sorrow, take on a feverish gleam. The Fifth Eye heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. If my mom and dad could see me now, they'd be so proud. That's nice, Reg. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Chorus. Reg and I were conscripted at the Gates of Judgment. You used to fight for Akan, me for Azure. Baz chuckles, sketching her chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Reg begins to count in a series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day and sunder separately. A course is... Baz looks about the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. The strong like me and Reg, we're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us. As it should be. And what can you tell me about the Fifth Eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the Voices of Nerat. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little... wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulder. I was going to say eccentric. The course isn't picky about who joins the ranks, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most are as likely to kill you as promote you. And what do you know about Vendrian's Well? The walls might seem imposing, but the Vendrian Guard do a better job of hiding its weaknesses than fixing them. She shrugs. We took the Citadel once before. We can take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks up at the imposing tower of the spire, though Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her head. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Fate Finder. It's not cowardice, it's just superstition. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fatebinder. I shouldn't have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is we were told to stay away from the spires and old walls ever since we were babes. Of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. Imagine a soldier of the chorus pissing himself over architecture. More like what's underneath it, Reg frowns. The Bane lurk around those old sites and kill anything they can catch unawares. I've no wish to meet the Bane in combat unless there are 100 bloodchanters at my back. She twists her lip into a frown as she considers this. Me neither, I suppose. Let's see what you can teach me. Let's
Let's dance, Binder.
What can you teach me, Baz? Nothing I want to spend my money on. Very hard-earned money. Hey, Baz, Scarlet, of course. Baz spits a wad of chewed bread into her open palm.
These rations are foul. Taste it. Can't tell if it's poison or mold.
I heard that our watches spotted a disfavored scout by the grain stores. You don't think...
I feel fine. Maybe it's an herb to slow my hands of battle. Sabotage is a coward's weapon.
Maybe it's just gone bad. Seeing you, Reg pockets his ration without taking a bite. Fate Binder.
So, anything we can do for you? Reg, show me what the fifth eye has been teaching you.
We'll make this valley burn!
Sure you will, Reg. Sure you will.
Okay, I can use trainers to upgrade my lore if I really need to. It would appear. Alright, finish that conversation. There's just 1,000 more to go.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah. Did I get it? Oh. Oh, my subterfuge is too low. My hair is out of control. I really need to get a haircut, but I don't really want to get one right now because of the whole virus situation. These threadbare tents show signs of hard use and long-term exposure to the elements. Have I talked to Snigler Dagos? Doesn't look like it. Upon noticing our approach, the merchant straightens his posture and smiles. What an honor! The name's Snigler Dagos, originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire. I've since accepted a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Kairos' forces supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported.
Let me see your wares, Snigler.
He winces a little. It's not much, but let me know if you see anything that piques your interest. Camp supplies, huh? I have a feeling those might be useful. Am I gonna spend my money on them, though? Probably not.
On it.
Death Knell I spoke with. Is that really the entire place? Looks like it. Alright. Off I go back to Edgering Ruins. Ruins? So that I can get that scroll that's there. That's going to cost me 5 hours. I still have quite a bit of time left until Kairos' judgment. I think I'll be okay. Yeah. Where was it? It was over here. Yeah. Alright guys, time for a long walk. Let's climb down. Go the cautious way. Not like we're in a rush. Here we go. Examine the torque, 37 lore. Is it in my inventory now? Is that what's going on? There it is. Battle-worn torque. Fine. Form. +1 vitality. Sounds like it might be useful for Barrack. Or, who has least health? 105. Maybe give it to Lantry since he is kind of our healer. It'll help keep him alive. In that last fight, my only fight where I've used Barrack, he didn't do a stupendous job of tanking. So, maybe I shouldn't assume that he's going to be able to take all the hits. I I suspect it's gonna be a bad day for me.
On it.
Because there was a bad omen this morning. I